Hey everyone, and welcome to Chris by Kristen, a cooking show to help inspire your next meal, whether you're hosting or it's a Tuesday night. I'm Kristen Smith, and if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit that little bell so you know every single time I drop a new recipe. Today I'm making a pork chop in the most silky, decadent, but easiest pan sauce you will ever make. If you can make a pan sauce, you can do anything. You are Superman, you are Superwoman of the kitchen. Because what ends up happening is the meat just becomes the vehicle for that sauce. Sort of like if you're eating chips with hummus, we all know that chip is really just there for the hummus. That's what this pan sauce is. Okay, let's get to it. For the equipment, all we're using is a 12-inch cast iron pan. If you don't have one already, they're super affordable. I'll link the one that I'm using down below. So the meat that I'm using are two bone-in pork chops. So before we do anything, we want to make sure that we pat it really dry with paper towel. Okay, first step is you're going to want to generously season your meat with just salt and pepper. I'm using bone-in pork chops here because I do think that they're more flavorful, but you can use boneless pork chops as well. Again, really simple prep here, and all the flavor is going to be in that pan sauce. I have my pork chops seasoned, and I have my cast iron pan heating up with about a tablespoon of butter. The pan is really hot, and now I'm going to cook my pork chops. You're going to want to cook your pork chops between 5 to 7 minutes on one side, and about 3 to 5 minutes on the other side. You'll want to watch them closely because depending on the thickness of it will determine the cooking time. But we basically want to cook it just below 160 degrees Fahrenheit because we're going to take it off and we're going to let it rest so it gets up to that 160 degree number. Let them rest to finish cooking. While that rests, this is the fun part. I'm going to start prepping the ingredients for the sauce. I'm going to warn you, there's butter, but don't worry because it's worth it. I have 2 garlic cloves and 1 medium shallot. You don't have to go. That's really all you need. A quick dice. Low to medium heat, and add your shallots and your garlic. 2 tablespoons of butter. And then cook until the butter melts until your shallots get soft. And these little bits here are what you want. That is a ton of flavor that's going to make your sauce so decadent and rich. Now I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard and a half a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. You'll have to fact check me on if that is the actual pronunciation of Worcestershire sauce because I butcher it every time. And thin it out with about a half a cup of water. You can also use broth, chicken broth or beef broth if you have it, but adding about a tablespoon of honey. Because if you have not heard, pork and sweet components go very well together. Oops. Well, cleaning that later. This is going to reduce into a thick, delicious concentration of goodness. AKA sauce. And don't worry about the honey. It's not going to be overly sweet. That honey is really meant to balance out that mustard. All right, this is reduced really nicely, and now it's time to plate. That pork is cooked so perfectly. You see, it's like still juicy. So good. I'm gonna plate it on this black plate, which I think looks really beautiful. And now for the crescendo. And here it is. So easy, and this took me maybe about 20 minutes total. I'm really happy with it. Don't worry, you're not going crazy. I did switch out plates because I actually thought it looked better on the white plate. But I hope you enjoyed watching this because again, like making a pan sauce can make such a difference in your meal and like make it more fancy. So either way, thanks so much for watching. See you soon.